What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Stunods podcast. What?
Huh?
What? No! I'm doing the intros.
Yeah, you were just doing it.
And you interrupted
wrote
me.
it.
I know.
Yeah, whatever.
God damn it. Should I start over?
No, go ahead.
What's going on, motherfucker? Dom. Let me do my intro. All right. What's... Oh, my God. Fucking God damn it.
I didn't mean to do that. All right, Joey.
All right, let's do it.
Time to get serious.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Stunods podcast. Today, we are talking everything DC fandom, the major live event held on August 22nd, showcasing everything DC has in the works, ranging from new movies, comics, and video games. We also paid tribute to none other than the king himself, Chadwick Boseman. Stay tuned. All right, Dom.
Joey.
How we doing?
Doing pretty good.
So, DC fandom.
DC fandom.
Dude, it was awesome.
A little over a week.
Yeah.
It's been, right? We're on vacation, so we couldn't really
do much.
Record anything.
Right.
We were just chatting about it.
But we were just so excited to get this episode out. So we're filming today. We're talking everything DC fandom. So let's start off with Wonder Woman 1984.
Sure.
So our initial impressions from the trailer, I think it looks badass. I'm not going to lie. My one takeaway before I saw anything for this movie, like the trailer or anything like that, was Kristen Wiig playing Cheetah.
Right.
So I didn't know how that was going to look or how that was going to, play out. From the trailer, I'm digging it.
Well, I'm surprised that they because it seemed like they were trying to hold back on showing her as Cheetah.
And I think that was why, because Kristen Wiig, she's mainly
a comedic star.
Yeah, comedic actress. So to see her in... First of all, I mean, like, obviously she's done up in all CGI and makeup and things like that, but to see her in like an action movie role, that's why I was kind of taken back. I was like, wow, like they're casting Kristen Wiig in this part. But seeing her in the trailer and seeing her in action a little bit, I liked what I saw. I think it's going to work out just fine. And not to mention the fact that, Gal Gadot just looks awesome as Wonder Woman, as she always does.
Looks gorgeous.
She's sporting some pretty sick battle armor. I don't know what the armor's called. I'm assuming it's going to be like Valkyrie or something like that, because it's got the wings and shit. But yeah, man, I'm digging the vibe of the movie as well. It's looking really good. I'm very excited for this.
Well, the thing that's interesting is that it was supposed to come out in June.
I know.
So it's 2 months now. Obviously the film's going to get released in, what is it, October now?
I think it's October, yeah. So, and I think it's holding that October date pretty well,
so
too.
It's like, maybe this could benefit them when they do release.
Right.
Because, you have time to kind of market it. It was supposed to be one of the biggest summer movies. Yeah. So that's just another movie that like everybody's kind of like
waiting to see.
Just like ants in their pants and waiting to go see it. So it might kind of build up a little bit of the hype a little bit more. Right. And then they release this at DC Fandom to kind of,
keep that hype going.
Taste. Right.
You know what I mean? So, but the main question I have for myself is, do we think this is going to be as good as the first Wonder Woman? Personally, I think, just the way things have gone, you can't beat out the original. And, the first film kind of carried so much weight because Gal Gadot was one of the first female superheroes in her own movie to be on screen. And she killed it. She absolutely killed it. And there's just kind of like this aura or this momentum that the first film had, where like it just kind of sticks in your head as like it's honestly one of the best, or if not the best, DC film that has come out so far.
Yeah, I think so too. Critically, and well, maybe not box office, because Batman vs Superman still took it, but still, like in my personal opinion, I think Wonder Woman probably is the best DC film that has come out so far. Agreed.
And do I think 1984 is going to be just as good as the first? Personally, I don't think it is, but I still think it's going to be absolutely
it'll still be badass.
Awesome. It's going to be bonkers,
right. The thing that's interesting is that you have Chris Pine come back.
Yeah.
As the love interest. I don't know how they're going to do it. I'm sure they're going to touch on it a little bit.
I'm sure.
So I'm interested to see that, but also at the same time too, I'm like, okay, well, how can you come
him
back to life from blowing up in a plane at the end of the first one?
Right, unless he jumped out of the plane and had a parachute.
True.
But then that doesn't explain his age, because he looks the same.
That's very true as well.
So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be some type of like spirit or just like someone in his head, in her head that's like her, perceivance, I guess, of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm interested just to see him back in the movie. I love Chris Pine.
Yeah, he was awesome in the first one too.
I'm sure they're going to be rocking some classic 1980s
attire.
Yeah,
it's going to be sick.
It's probably going to start laughing at everything that they wear.
It's going to be awesome though. All right, so that's Wonder Woman 1984, but moving on to Black Adam. Now, DC Fandom didn't show any trailers or anything like that, but we got concept art and we got a little panel from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself.
The man. The myth.
So what would you think about that little
the little smolder at the end?
That little panel. Yeah.
It was pretty badass because I don't really know too much about Black Adam.
Right, yeah.
I just didn't read the comics.
Well, he's in the Shazam universe.
Right.
So we know that.
Right. So it was interesting. It was interesting how they went about it, just to kind of add the spark up the light again of it, because I'm pretty sure The Rock was casted as Black Adam like years ago.
A few years ago.
So it's like, okay.
At the start of the DCEU, I think it was right after Suicide Squad, he got cast as around there. Black Adam. And Suicide Squad came out in 2016.
Yeah.
So 4 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So you're kind of waiting on it. And honestly, I forgot about it personally.
Yeah.
That he was coming in, playing a superhero role.
Right.
The Rock coming in as a superhero role, which is awesome.
Right.
It's going to be The Rock in Superman form, which I hope is what we get.
Right. But Black Adam's sort of an anti-hero.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that's what I was saying too, with how they told a little bit of the backstory of the character through concept art. I thought that was a really good idea.
Yep.
Obviously having The Rock be the face of it, him being the panel was smart. It was definitely very planned out.
Yeah.
Because just his Instagram, he can just post something.
Right.
And he'll get millions of viewers just because of that.
Right.
For his little call out.
At
the end was pretty badass.
Calling out all the big hitters in the Justice League.
So I am definitely excited to see The Rock in a superhero universe.
Definitely.
Mainly because a lot of the movies he comes out with, to me, and I'm sure to a lot of other people, like, they're not the best movies.
Not at all.
I love The Rock.
Of course.
I rock all of his gear. He's one of my role models.
Yeah, you got to respect the hustle.
So yes, definitely. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to just, gel with Wonder Woman, and if they continue with Henry Cavill,
Superman,
he's
Shazam.
Right. And Black Adam's supposed to be a very powerful character within, the world that they're building. So that's going to be very interesting to see how he can come in and kind of just like sweep them all out.
Yeah, smack them around a little bit,
Yeah. So that'd be cool if, just looking at the character itself, if it can really hold that much ground or, live up to the hype.
Right.
And kind of have a big threat to these, somewhat building characters in this universe.
No, definitely. And I would say this too is if you've seen Shazam, they kind of hint at Black Adam a little bit. And the way they're setting him up is he's kind of like an unknown force. So I feel like he's going to, like in his movie or just later on in the DCEU, I feel like he's going to come out of the gate and absolutely smack some of these heroes around. They're going to be like, oh shit, like, this guy's a real deal kind of thing. You know what I mean? I like how they're setting that up. So that's on Black Adam. I'm pretty excited for the film itself.
Yeah. I don't know when
that's supposed to come out. I think 2022. I think is when it's supposed to come out. Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty excited.
They have concept
for the film.
art and stuff now, so I'm assuming that they're in the pre-production of it. Getting pretty close.
And I'm hoping, my hopes for the film is that it is mainly his origin for his solo film.
Right.
That's mainly how he came to be. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked for Black Adam. Not gonna lie. And we're gonna touch real quick on some of the video games that were showcased at DC Fandom. My initial impressions on Gotham Knights from WB Montreal. I'm digging it. The world that they're building within that is Batman has died, and it is up to Red Hood, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin to pretty much save Gotham City.
Right.
I saw a little bit of the gameplay, pre-alpha gameplay. It looks really good. Still a little buggy, but it's pre-alpha. But the game, I'm hoping, is going to be just as good as the Arkham series of games, and provides a little bit more action, a little bit more co-op gameplay.
Yeah, that's the one
like
thing
that.
I got out of it was the co-op. I hope that they can really utilize that.
Yeah, because that's going to be like a really like fun like couch co-op game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked for Gotham Knights.
Well, it kind of adds to with Suicide Squad game with the co-op mode.
Right, yeah, because they're building that as a co-op game too.
Yeah.
So now Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is from Rocksteady Studios, and they're famously known for the Arkham series of games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. So we didn't see much. We got a little teaser, I would call it. See the Suicide Squad in action, some of the characters that are going to be in the game, but it ends with Superman. We don't know if it is Superman saving a pilot from a helicopter and then melting his face off with his laser beams.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of setting up, you're kind of going to be on the Suicide Squad side. You're going to reason with them and see the sympathy behind their actions and motives towards going after the Justice League.
Yeah. So, it's exciting. It's a different twist on something.
Definitely. And like the one thing, and I was talking to my brother about this a little bit, the vibe that I'm getting from Suicide Squad is Sunset Overdrive. It's an older game. I think it came out in 2014, 2015 from Insomniac Games. And it was just kind of like an open world, like beat 'em up, like it's you and you're fighting zombies, but very cartoony, very bright and vivid colors in the game. So I was getting really heavy Sunset Overdrive vibes from the trailer. So, I mean, if it's anything like that game, we're in for a good time. So
yeah, seems fun.
Okay, now moving on, we are going to talk a little bit about the Snyder Cut. We talked about it a lot in a previous episode, but we are going to touch on the trailer that we saw at DC Fandome. So, Dom, your initial impressions on the trailer?
I was like, where was this movie? Like, just from the trailer and I mean, obviously they're going to release footage that we haven't seen, but like, majority of this stuff, like, why was that not in the movie? Like, how much did they even shoot, too?
I know.
Like, they must have had all together, like, if you combine Snyder's cut and what he shot, and then with Whedon coming in with the original Justice League cut, like, you can combine that, and it will probably be, even though I don't want it combined.
Right.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you did it, it would be, like, 4 hours.
Well, we are getting 4 hours worth of content.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's going to be all Snyder's shots and things like that with additional content.
Right.
So I think it's coming out on HBO Max. I think it's either coming out in like a 4-hour like straight movie, or I'm not sure if they're splitting it up.
Well, he said 4 parts in the panel.
Okay, so it's going to be 4 parts.
I just don't know if he's going to release it like weekly or if it's just going to be all out.
Honestly, I think he's releasing it in a straight shot.
It would be smart to do that.
Right. So I'm stoked for it. The biggest thing though is like, again, like you said, like where was this when Justice League came out? Because it looks like a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Completely different. From all the shots that we got, the style, the tone, the editing, it just seems like one person had their hands on it, and that was Zack Snyder.
Right.
Whereas Joss Whedon's film, as we know, Snyder had to leave the project. Joss Whedon came on. You're getting 2 conflicting visions.
Yep.
Right. And then not only that, but the studio cut the film down to 2 hours.
Just under 2 hours. Yeah.
Just under 2 hours. So why the hell?
Oh my God.
Why the hell would you cut all that content out? I guess they were in hopes of selling more tickets.
I don't know.
Which is bullshit, because everybody knows if you got a superhero team up movie, you will sit down for 3 hours if you're a fan and watch that movie. It doesn't even have to be 3 hours. Just add a half hour more of content and that movie will flow better.
But it's also too, it's that, it came out in 2017, the theatrical release. There has already been, since 2012 was the first Avengers.
Right.
So like, why wouldn't you trust, not even, I don't know what happened with Snyder, he got out, but like, at least don't go and chop it down to get it under 2 hours to get more ticket sales. Like, there's already a reputation with big superhero movies, and especially team outs, like what you said. Right. Like, you're gonna get the money. Why take the risk and cut all of that out? So we don't really know the politics behind it.
But it doesn't matter.
But it's ridiculous.
Because we're getting the Snyder Cut.
That is true.
4 hours worth of Justice League content.
When we had that previous episode, when we literally just talked about when it was first announced.
Right.
One of the big things I would talk about was how I wanted to see more, or how we think we're going to see more of Cyborg and Flash. Right. With this trailer, I'm sure that they're going to do that. And those are two characters that you're basically breaking grounds with in the Justice League movie. And they didn't have that in the theatrical cut. So I'm hoping, or I know it's going to be in there, but I hope that it lives up to what we expect it to be.
Well, it'll develop the characters way more because they didn't have solo films yet.
Right.
So you're going to get a little bit of their origin. And that kind of like when you get someone's origin and you see where they come from, you see what drives the character. And as a viewer, you respond like better to that. So I'm thinking the Snyder Cut's going to be absolutely bonkers. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited for it. And so Zack Snyder.
Well, let's lead into this with The Flash, just a little bit we got with that.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, Michael Keaton was casted as his original Batman that he played in the Tim Burton movies.
Right.
And then we got Ben Affleck. That was the big news that came out.
Right.
His Batman coming in. So what we are predicting as fans is that it's going to be following the Flashpoint
paradox,
yep. Where basically he's going through different universes and somehow coming across Ben Affleck's and Michael Keaton. So it's going to be really interesting because it's definitely nothing we've seen other than Spidey.
The multiverse.
Yeah,
it's
the animated series.
So.
Or animated movie.
The good thing about The Flash and how they're doing that, they're building this multiverse, is one, it's going to blend the character switch of the Batman, right? Because now we have Robert Pattinson coming in. So if you build this multiverse...
Well, which we don't know if Robert Pattinson's going to bleed in. I don't think it is. You're going to bleed into what DCEU is.
Well, I'm just saying...
You're just saying in terms of like fans.
Yeah. But like, because if that does end up happening,
right,
then there's reason behind it, and it's not like, oh, it was a complete recast. Like at least, to a fan, it's like, all right, well, there's a multiverse. There's obviously going to be different Batmans and things like that, different Supermans, all that shit. So I think that's smart on their part because it's kind of a way for them to be like, okay, so we're going to erase the mistakes we did in the past and we're going to start fresh kind of thing. So I think that's a good move on them.
Well, which is interesting too, because right before DC Fandom, we didn't talk about it or anything, but Ben Affleck getting, I guess, or just reprising his role. And we think it's going to be his last time. Maybe not. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm excited. And it seems like everybody else was ecstatic about him coming back.
Yeah.
It's like, you hated the guy.
Right.
Everybody bashed him as he was casted.
Right.
Batman vs Superman comes out. I think it was like either you hated him or you absolutely loved him. And then it got through Justice League and like everybody's, making fun of just the movie and Ben Affleck's.
Right.
His name, I feel like, is just popping on the negativity involving DC.
But that was the one takeaway from those films, even though they weren't, critically acclaimed and people didn't like them, he was good. Batfleck was good.
Yeah. I mean, we both love him.
Yeah.
I think everybody we kind of talk to, we love him as it too. But like you just went on, I don't know. That's my opinion when the negativity when like DC was at its like fucking,
worst.
At its worst.
Dumps. Yeah.
I just feel like Ben Affleck was just always associated with everybody's comments of why it went wrong. I'm like, why? And then now he's
coming back.
It's announced he's reprising his role, and like everybody's going crazy.
Everyone's excited,
which I like.
Right.
But like, what happened to all the fucking haters? You just gonna like bail out and
Well, I mean, let's take a look at the new Batman film. When we heard Robert Pattinson was getting casted, we kind of had little doubts in our heads about it. But from DC Fandom, we got a little sneak peek at the Batman,
and I'm not going to say that, but I melted in excitement.
Dude.
I mean, that was the crazy thing, too, is that everybody was just thinking you were going to get like a couple of shots, some music, some like voiceovers.
Yeah.
30-second to a minute thing. No, we got like a full-blown trailer.
2.5 minutes.
With 25% of the film shot.
Yeah.
That's the thing that blows my mind is that you can create that much hype and establish a direction they're going with just within 25% of the movie, which I think is awesome. I mean, again, it could have just lucked out, or maybe that was how they planned their shooting was to like, half the movie they were going to start marketing it, whatever. I don't know. But that just excited me. And I'm like, wow, like you still have
75%.
You have 75% of the movie left to see. And you're like, oh my goodness. It was absolutely incredible.
Well, that was the thing. Like we didn't see the meat and potatoes of the movie. So, I was just blown away, especially just from that little tidbit of Pattinson going absolutely apeshit on that thug. You know what I mean? And I think that shot right there kind of reassured everybody that he's going to do a good job in this role. But before they dropped the trailer, Matt Reeves had a little panel beforehand, and I like what he had to say. He's pretty much taking this at a different angle because we've seen so many iterations of Batman's origins and how he's grown up without his parents, you know, having Alfred take care of him kind of thing. This is a kind of a new direction or a new window we're seeing into Bruce Wayne's life. It's very early in his stages of being the Batman, and I'm really digging it, you know. And the reason why I'm liking this is because, God fucking damn it, the reason why I'm liking this is because it's going to show a more vulnerable Batman.
Right.
He's new.
He's young.
Still, he's young. He's still feeling the waters. I think mistakes are going to be made.
Right.
And I think there's going to be major consequences for those mistakes. And I think we're going to see a more vulnerable side of the character, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is, too, is like, you know, from the trailer, I got David Fincher mystery where it's this really dark thriller. It's like a noir. And
yeah, that's a good way to say it, noir.
And I'm just it's a mystery movie, and I absolutely love those types of movies, like that genre. And the fact that you can incorporate, you know, Batman, a superhero, but ground him to a level where he's actually believable. Yeah, you know, that's a thing that stands out. And, you know, The Dark Knight was the closest we got to a grounded superhero comic book adaptation,
and it was so well received too.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
But you can also think about that too, where if you compare the Dark Knight or just the Dark Knight trilogy compared to what we think the Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman is going to be,
right?
It's the Dark Knight trilogy. The scale was 10 times bigger than what I think the Batman is trying to do. Not necessarily like if you look at the money, like the budget, I don't think that, like, I'm not talking about that.
Right.
It's just like the world within the story. Like, I think the Batman is just going to be really, really personal, you know, with the audience and with the characters.
You know, now that we're seeing a more vulnerable side of the character, I think that's going to play into the scale of the film, because in the Nolan films, we have a Batman who's already established in a world. You know, he's seen a lot, he's done a lot. And this one, like I said, he's a younger version of the Batman. So you're gonna get more, you know, murder crime scenes, back alley fights, rooftop fights. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be so blown up and out of proportion kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's going to be very tight knit.
It's not a superhero movie, which I'm getting out of it, which I absolutely love.
Right. It's definitely it's a new angle.
It's really diving down to what Batman the character is and what he was from the comics was the world's greatest detective.
Yes.
You know, and that's what I'm very curious to see is how he goes about these investigations, using his brain, you know, not necessarily just for like the tech and the Batmobile and everything. Like, obviously they have Batmobile and it looks fucking badass.
Yeah, it does. It looks cool.
In the trailer too, you get that one like 5-second clip
it's a POV
that
right?
Nick was saying. Oh, well, the
POV of him walking down the hallway.
Yeah. So I mean, it's every time you see the Gotham Police Department and the Batman. Yeah. It's really interesting to see, that first shot we get where it's like the POV shot of him going through the hallway, the cops giving him the dirty looks and everything. And it seems that the only person that really believes in him and trusts his word
is Gordon.
Yeah. And that's really interesting. And then there's, you know, within the trailer, there's that little taste that they give us where like he's literally fighting this like mob of the Gotham police.
Has to be like 20 or 30 cops.
That's just going to be so interesting to see. Because it's like, you know, no one in this world is treating him or respecting him the way he should. So it already seems like he's still in the early the early stages. Process, the early stages of it. And you know, I think he just has to. It's at a point where that gives a little bit more vulnerability to Batman too. Right.
Well, you know? Here's the thing too. So it's good. I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of have a bit of a theory about it. So he's getting dirty looks from the GCPD. He only has a relationship with Gordon. I don't think Gordon's commissioner yet in this film. So my theory is that there's a lot of corruption within Gotham City Police Department. and he's obviously doing way more than a regular cop would to clean up the streets. So if, let's say, the cops are on a payroll, a villain's payroll, they're not going to like the Batman,
right?
Because he's coming in and he's going to fuck up their pay. So I think there's going to be a lot of corruption within the Gotham City Police Department.
So like the Batman's kind of hunting down, like sniffing out who the rats
trying to get the rats and things like that. I think that's going to add kind of a really cool dynamic, and how he's going to kind of rid the corruption, get Gordon in as commissioner, and that's how he's going to build a better relationship with the police department.
That'd be awesome.
So I think that's like my theory, and I was thinking about it too after I watched the trailer probably about 12 times.
Yeah.
And after the 12th time, I was like,
watched it more than that already.
Yeah. I'm like, so maybe there's corruption, and that's why they really don't like him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you're a cop and someone comes in and he's cleaning up the streets and he's fighting for peace and justice, why would you hate him?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I hope they kind of, touch on not necessarily like the upfront crime.
Yeah.
If they can kind of dive into the nitty gritty behind like the reasons. Like I hope we just see the Batman kind of justify like what is happening in Gotham City as to why he turned in. Because it's supposed to be like year 2 of him being the Batman.
Yeah.
So it might be interesting too to see how just to give a little reason why he's diving in and taking that risk to go, and you're literally going against the city and the police department.
Right. Yeah. All the odds are against you.
That's just crazy too to think. Like even like in the trailer again, where there's just the shots of him going to his back cave, like he just feels so alone.
Yeah.
Like so secluded.
Yeah.
That's the thing that like it's just gonna be so interesting.
Yeah.
Vulnerability and yeah.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Now, when we're talking about this world, right? Obviously, we got a little glimpse at some of the new characters.
Right.
Well, not new characters, familiar characters, but different styles on the characters. So we got to look at the Riddler. We got to look at Catwoman, and we got a sneak peek at Penguin.
Yeah, Colin Farrell. No one even noticed. I picked it out though.
You did pick it out.
It was the first time we watched it because they show him like 3 times. And I'm like, that's got to be Colin Farrell because we knew it was the Penguin.
Right.
And I didn't see Colin Farrell. And yeah, he's in it. It's absolutely crazy. The prosthetics that they gave him.
Right. And so I'd say that's the one thing for his prosthetics. They're fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And that's like, that just shows how much is going into this film. But we didn't get to see too much of his character.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure he's still in the early stages. He's probably not the Penguin yet.
Right.
Or maybe he is. I don't know. I'm just what I'm getting from the trailer. I don't think he's the Penguin yet. But yeah, so his prosthetics are out of this world. Then we look at Catwoman, who's played by
Zoe Kravitz.
And she seems like Catwoman's in a very early stage as well.
Right.
She doesn't have the full suit with the ears yet. She's kind of like masked as like a burglar.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm very interested to see how her character is going to play into the story and how Catwoman and the Batman are going to mesh.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited to see the early stages of that character as well.
I am too, because it's, when you have a lot of these heavy characters, known characters within the Batman, whatever.
Batman-verse.
Right. Yeah. through the comics, video games, whatever. There's so many different takes on how these characters integrate with each other, how they gel together. Like, there's some times where, Catwoman will be completely on the other side of Batman, but then in Dark Knight Rises we get that a little bit.
Yeah.
But then she teams up at the end, And then the Penguin, obviously, he's always been a villain, but maybe we get him and he teams up with Batman. Like, that's the thing that's like really interesting about it.
Yeah.
That we just really don't know how they're gonna go about it,
Yeah, and like you've seen, like just from the comics, film, like games, like you said, when the relationship between Batman and Catwoman has gone in so many different directions. They've been adversaries against one another.
Right.
They've loved one another and they've worked together with one another.
Right.
So I'm very interested to see what this Catwoman's going to be to this Batman. Yeah. Are they going to be foes? Are they going to be friends? Or are they going to fuck?
We're definitely leaving that in there.
So,
did you write that line?
No, I did not.
That's good.
So, I'm like I said, excited to see what that character is going to be like. But the Riddler, played by Paul Dano,
fucking
creepy.
Yes.
Very creepy.
I love him though. Everything he's in.
Yeah.
He's not in much. Not a lot of people know him.
Right.
But when you do see him, he sticks out.
Yeah. And we get the first shot of him in the beginning of the trailer, and he's all duct taped up.
Yeah.
He's got those weird glasses on. It looks like very eccentric, very weird, but also it seems like what he's doing is very planned out,
Right.
Carefully.
Right.
So I'm very excited for him.
Yeah.
Very excited.
It's like a Zodiac vibe.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That's why I just keep thinking David Fincher. It's all of his movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just like chasing. It's like a cat and mouse type of thing where, or Seven with Kevin Spacey. You know what I mean? Something like that where you feel that the Riddler is just gonna be playing with him the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
It's gonna be awesome, dude. I'm probably like out of all the characters that they're giving a redirection, I'm probably most excited about him, because we haven't really seen the Riddler recently
since Jim Carrey,
since Batman Forever, and we know how that went. You know, that movie was made just to sell toys.
Was it?
It was made to sell like merchandise and shit.
Oh my god.
You know, and we had the bat suit with nipples on it. So that's what we get. So that was the last time we saw the Riddler. So I think it was very smart on their part to bring in that character,
right,
because it's forgotten about.
Yeah.
So to see this
again, you have the Riddler going down, where it's this mystery thriller,
right,
where he's hunting down, and you know, it's just I don't know. It was a great choice for a villain. Definitely for the grounds that they're trying to break with this type of world too.
And I think you're going to establish that character even better than what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Actually, you're probably just going to reestablish it completely. You know what I mean? He's going to set the bar for what the Riddler should be.
Right.
So, excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Are they going to fuck too, or?
No. I fucking hope not. All right. So, main takeaway from DC Fandom. Are we excited for everything the DCEU has to offer and everything that is coming to us?
I definitely am.
Yep.
I mean, I'm very happy that they did. I don't know if this was planned or if this was just, you know, when the coronavirus hit and everything was shutting down. Was DC Fandom planned?
I didn't hear anything about it, and
like,
I feel
it was
like
such a great idea. Like, you're basically throwing away Comic-Con and these big events that they try to push their stuff, and they're like, all right, well, you know, fuck all you guys, we're just gonna do it ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, because they came in, and then Nick was saying that they got, you know, a bunch of new people in charge in the big seats, pretty much.
A lot of the higher ups. Yeah. They definitely had to do that. They had to kick out the old crew and bring in a new crew, because the old crew was not doing anything to, you know, give justice to these characters.
It was so smart, though. They'd just be like, all right, we'll just have a one-day fan event where we're just going to give you every type of content that we can right now.
Which was awesome.
It was a great idea.
Awesome idea.
And you're definitely going to see Marvel, or just at least other bigger franchises, go and do this.
Oh, absolutely.
Why not?
Yeah. We're going to give a tribute to Chadwick Boseman. We're deeply saddened for the loss. He is most famous for his roles as Jackie Robinson in 42, James Brown in Get On Up, and King T'Challa in Black Panther. Our deepest and sincere condolences go out to the ones closest to Chadwick during this time. Yeah, man. I found out
freaky news.
I found out on vacation. We got a text in our group chat, with some of our friends, and I just saw Chadwick Boseman died. And first thing that came into my head was, this is fake. This isn't real.
Right, yeah. I immediately went to Google, and I was like, I have, that's exactly
and then I saw a thing from Hollywood Reporter, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I saw his Twitter had released this memorial to him, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
We find out that
then within 30 minutes, everything was blown up.
Yeah, and we found out that he was battling colon cancer for the past 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
And he kept it under wraps, and I think a lot of actors and famous figures like that keep that stuff under wraps just to take that attention away from them.
Right.
From
you don't
them.
Want that shit,
no,
especially when you're
don't.
trying to battle something that severe.
Yeah, and you
don't need that publicity. You don't need fucking paparazzi down your throat or at your house,
and you don't want to be
that.
You don't want to be remembered that way either.
Right.
And he did an unbelievable job, and it shows the strength of his character. Not film character, just his own personal character. Right. That he was this sick, and he went out and he shot Black Panther.
Yeah.
He shot Avengers: Infinity War, Endgame. Like he
made
shot
the biggest movies of his life.
Yeah. While he was sick.
Yeah, that's incredible. And you wouldn't even guess it.
Right. And
it said
movies. And it said between those films, he was dealing with chemotherapy. He was dealing with surgeries. you know, and I remember, you know, during quarantine, he released a video, you know, talking about everything that was going on in the world, and we saw a very gaunt, skinny Chadwick Boseman. Everyone was like, you know, is he okay? Like, he looks sick, kind of thing. And, you know, looking back, like, yeah, like he was sick.
I didn't even see it.
You don't remember that?
No.
Yeah, he released like a video, and he was just looking very thin and, you know, frail. And everyone was like speculating, like, you know, he looks really sick. He looks really sick. And then it kind of went away and was forgotten about. And then when we get this news that he passed, you know, going back to that video, like now it all makes sense, you know, and it's harrowing and it's, you know, very morbid to think about, but, you know, it's just, we lost a treasure. We really did.
Yeah. Classy guy, man. He was just starting. He was at the top.
Yeah.
But he was just starting off, man. He was just broke grounds and he had more to
he scratched the surface, and he had a lot more to offer, and it's such a shame that we won't get to see him in more roles. Yeah, man, just awful.
Sucks.
Well, that does it for this week's episode. Please remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more weekly content. And Dom, would you care to give a little preview into the next episode?
Sure. So next week, we're shooting with my boy Diesel. He's a rap hip hop artist that has, you know, kind of broke grounds right now. He just released his first album, I think, in February. And I got to say, like, once I listened to his stuff, like, this guy's got some talent, man. I'm really excited to get him on.
No, definitely. Yeah, and I only listened to a few of his tracks, and I'll listen to more in preparation for the episode. And I got to tell you, like, he's got a good handle on his music, and I can't wait to get him in here, pick his brain a little bit, see his inspirations, his processes that go into his music. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, his style is it's definitely more mainstream, and I'm waiting for the time that he's just gonna put something out and just gonna blow him up. It's
gonna blow up.
He's really got the talent, man. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, Dom,
Joey,
and as always, tuning off.
Sign off.
Stopping off.
We're stopping.
Off. Stopping.
We're leaving.
All right.
Adios.
Bye.
No, we didn't leave yet.
Bye.
We're still here.
Bye.
See ya. Just kidding.
No, seriously. Bye.
Adios.
All right. See you later.
Tuning off.
God fucking damn it. Let's just leave.
No, not yet.
We're done.
I don't want to leave.
We're done. We'll see you next week.
But we're not going to leave yet.
Fuck, Dom.
What?
We're leaving.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Stunods.
No, we're done. It's over.
I thought you wanted me to do the intro.
No. We're done.
Sure?
Yeah,
I can do it, though.
No.
Let's record it.
All right, go ahead. Do the intro.
All right, and we got a lot to talk about. And Joey, here we go.
This is why I do the intros.
Tuning off. Sign off. See you.
Yeah, bye.